Hello students and welcome again to Legacy IS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing about the US and Israel versus Iran war. So now there has been a completion of 1 week with respect to this war. So we'll try to analyze this war with respect to what has been the role of these three countries involved, how these countries have dragged the other neighboring and other nations as well, how it is going to impact or is impacting the world in general and India in particular. At the same time, we will also try to analyze as to who is actually winning the war. So it may seem very theoretically clear on the paper that US Israel on one side is a very big mighty defense power, on the other side it's Iran alone. So theoretically it might look that US and Israel are actually winning it, but is that the reality or not? This and much more is what we will see in this particular video. So let's get started with respect to the news first. So the news is about the Israel's military campaign against Iran, which had started a week back. So now it completes a complete 1 week and it is entering the second week. Now February, which this year was a month of only 28 days. So it all started on February the 28th and now it has entered the second week. Now how did it all start? It started with Israel. Basically Israel starting the strikes targeting Iran's leadership as well as the military infrastructure. Now, wherever there are military infrastructure, specifically the cantonment area, of course, the civilian public, in the sense that the family of the military personnel also reside. So, in these areas, you will also have schools as well. So, when these areas were hit, also along with it hit was the girls' school that was just around the corner. So the attack started around about 9:45 and the school was hit somewhere right around about 10:20 or so. So not much of a difference. So you can say that in the very initial stages itself, the girls' school was hit by Israeli missiles, and the attack which took place wherein USA was also involved. Now subsequent to this attack, of course, Iran basically retaliated against Israel and USA. Now, since Iran cannot directly attack USA immediately because USA being far across, as a result of which Iran started attacking USA's interests in West Asia. It started attacking the USA's military bases which are present in West Asia, and these bases are present in the neighboring countries of Iran. Just the countries in front of it across the Strait of Hormuz, there are other countries which are present. So Iran started attacking those countries, not the civilians as such, but it started retaliating with the attack on the US military bases. Now, of course, these are the initial stages. Later on, even civilians will be hurt, will be killed on both sides of the attack as well. So this is how it all this began. Now, the question is, why did the war began in the first place? So this United States supporting Israel, they together launched the operation named Epic Fury. So Epic Fury operation started. Now in this operation, the targets that they included, already we have seen the Iran's leadership would be there. So Iran's leadership would be there. The reason being that US and Israel do not want Iran to nuclearize. Now that is in fact hypocritical, because these nations are nuclear power themselves. Now Israel don't explicitly mentions it, but the world understands that it is, and USA of course is the nuclear power. In fact, USA is the only nuclear power or the power in the world which has actually executed the atomic attacks, which we all know about, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So these countries who are already nuclear powers do not want Iran to have the nuclear power. as a result of which the targets did include the nuclear program of Iran. It included the military infrastructure, the missile base, the air defense system, as well as the leadership of the top political and the military that is there in Iran. So these were the targets during the attack that US and Israel carried out on Iran. Now, what was the strategic objective of USA and Israel? Strategic objective was to ensure that Iran does not nuclearize, so that Iran does not become a threat for US and Israel in the future. So what they want is monopoly of or oligopoly of power, so that only now these countries can be a threat to others, but that is what they don't want. So they themselves know that being nuclear power and threatening other country doesn't feel good, which they do it on other countries, but that is exactly what they do not want Iran also to do with respect to them, what they do with respect to the other countries. So that is their objective which is present. Now, what is the current situation with respect to Iran? So if you look at the military impact, these are the claims that Israel is making. It is claiming that 80% of Iran's air defense system and 60% of its missile launchers have been destroyed. Right, over 3,000 targets have been hit during the first week is what it is claiming over here. Now, the key infrastructure claimed to be attacked is the Mehrabad airport in Tehran, the missile bases, as well as the leadership bunker there is. And of course, in the very initial stages of the war itself, Iran's supreme leader also has said to be died in the attacks. Now, if you look at current situation further, there is reported that at least 1,332 deaths have taken place. The major casualties are from the bombing of elementary school that I have told. Already more than 150 children have died over there. Situation in Tehran is such, Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, is such that the shops are closed, there is severe cash shortages, and a large-scale civilian displacement is taking place in Tehran as we speak. Now, subsequent to this, there has been Iran's military response wherein there was missile strikes on Israel and attacks on US's military installations that are there. So they have not attacked USA directly, but they have attacked US's military bases which are present in different neighboring countries. Now, the possible support that Iran is possibly getting, which is alleged, not certain, is the intelligence from Russia is what they are getting. Now, what is the strategic goal of Iran? See, the Iran may not win the war as such, but they can make the war very costly for the United States as well as Israel. That can put pressure on them to stop the attacks from their side as well. Now, subsequent to that, Israel also has furthered its attacks. It has also basically started attacking basically Lebanon also, but in Lebanon they are attacking the Hezbollah, which is basically an extra state organization or an extra state military which is there. So that is also being attacked. Now, 11 deaths have been sort of confirmed is what you can say in Israel from the Iranian missiles. Now, the claims are higher. However, the verified numbers or the numbers that Israel is saying is probably 11. So what numbers are correct is still quite difficult to decipher. Again, here military support has been promised by USA. So USA has approved $151.8 million worth of additional ammunition for Israel as well. Now, this war has also expanded to the Lebanon front, wherein Hezbollah, which I just mentioned is an extra state actor, has joined the war from the side of Iran. So Israel has now started bombing the Hezbollah establishments as well in Lebanon. So the war has also spread in Lebanon as well. Now what is the role of USA? USA basically started the Operation Epic Fury. Over 3,000 military targets has been claimed to be hit. 43 Iranian naval vessels has been destroyed as well. Also, the IRS Dana, which came to Indian Ocean for a military exercise with the Indian Navy, while returning was also hit by them. So as far as the political position is concerned, the President of the United States of America, that is Donald Trump, wants an unconditional surrender from Iran, which again is possibly is not going to be accepted by Tehran, because he is asking for an unconditional surrender and Iran does not seem likely to surrender unconditionally as such. Although Iran has tried to come onto the table for peace talks or for talks, however, USA wants an unconditional surrender, which again is not going to happen possibly in the near future. So along with the talks, there can be a solution, but those talks have been rejected by Donald Trump as such. Now, what is the implications for India? Of course, with respect to the energy security, India imports over 80% of its crude oil, of course, right? West Asia being a major supplier. So this energy security is at risk because Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz, from where a huge amount of oil is imported by India as well. So our now reliance will increase. Our reliance for oil is going to increase, or energy security is going to increase from Russia. However, with respect to US-India trade deal, that was also in jeopardy. Now we need to probably go back to Russia for more and more oil. It's not that we sort of stopped buying it from Russia, but sort of USA seems to be dictating the terms with respect to India-Russia relationship or trade with respect to the crude oil. So that was sort of not a good move by India to move strategically away from Russia, because with Russia, it's not just the trade. Russia has been our all-weather friend. So we have a very strategic relation with Russia. And now USA has said that it has given us a waiver to purchase Russian oil. However, the worrying thing here is as to who is USA to allow India to purchase Russian oil, because India is a sovereign. We have sovereignty. We have dehyphenation policy with respect to international relations, which says that our relationship with Russia has nothing to do with our relationship with USA and vice versa. So we should ensure that even though we might have given some leverage to USA in the trade deal, we should ensure that no one, not even USA, can dictate terms to India. Moving ahead, now the main question as to who is winning. Now this particular ongoing conflict has not revealed any clear-cut or decisive winner after the first week. The US and Israel alliance, which is there, which definitely holds the military superiority. But as far as Iran is concerned, Iran is expanding the ambit of the war by attacking the neighboring countries, not the countries as such, but the US bases in those countries is what is there. And Iran is you can say to an extent is successful in increasing the cost of war for US and Israel. Whereas if you look at the death numbers or the death toll, that does not help Iran. See, anyhow, a life lost is priceless, whether it is a life of an Iranian, of an Israeli, or of a USA personnel. A life is a life which is priceless. So we cannot compare that, Iranian life is less costly or Israeli life is more costly, so on and so forth. A life lost in any side is a priceless thing that has been lost. So the numbers which are in thousands are something which we should not be very happy about. Even if one life is lost, it is actually lost. So basically the idea is, with respect to the number of death tolls, it can be seen that Israel is winning, but at the end of the day, it is humanity which is losing over here. Thank you.